So since I've literally never played Void Spirit, I played him like once in the offlane, but I've never played him mid. I've only played against him, and I know what his abilities do and his general strengths and weaknesses. I'm not going to comment too much on the matchup, and I'm going to talk about more. I've seen you play, Shaggy. This is 7K MMR, so you've been in my games. I think generally I've never really had a major problem with your laning. I don't generally have you go crazy in the lane. I do usually have problems with rank 300 players approximately, and their like mid-game rotations and what they choose to do with their hero in regards to items, in regards to, like I said, rotations, where they put themselves on the map, what they think their job in the game is. So I'm going to try to probably focus on those things. I'm going to watch the laning stage so I know what happens. But it looks like you have pretty high impact in this game. I know I think you're supposed to lose the matchup to Ember. I know the hero's good against you in game for sure. I think the lane's like kind of just a trade. When I say lose, like not hard, but just by a bit. Okay, so kind of just internal dialogue over. Nothing to say so far. I'm gonna kind of fast forward a bit through the lane. I guess this doesn't do enough damage. Yeah, it doesn't do enough damage to blank frame guard. I get to do a little bit of homework on this matchup myself.
You have been denied.
Ooh. Okay.
Did you want that?
I'm really not going to look much at the laning stage unless something like drastically bad happens or I feel like you lost a lot. I've been told this lane's pretty much a trade, so it seems to be what's happening. Let's check out the CS just to make sure. Yeah, I mean, the guy's beating you by bits, but... Are you actually going to kill him here? Oh. When I've played with you, you've never had the issue of being not aggressive enough. You, if anything, are crazy, so... I definitely will not have to talk to you about that. Nice little DD rune there. Thank you, Gaben. So I understand that you have a DD and you want to make something happen with it, most likely. But obviously he hit level 5 and you didn't. And he has 4 creeps and you don't. So this is just very simple, but picking your battles. Like, he's level 5, you're level 4. Wait till you're both the same level. Wait till you have approximately the same amount of creeps. There's a lot of factors that go into whether or not something's a beneficial trade. Obviously, the matchup can change everything. But factors such as the fact that you're almost level 5, as well as the fact that he has creeps and you don't. The creeps over the course of that trade probably do 100 damage to you. And that adds up pretty quickly. And not only that, like right there, the creeps really only hit you 2 or 3 times. But because he has creeps, you're the one that's forced to run away. You're basically avoiding the creeps from doing more damage to you because he has creeps that are also coming up the new wave. And because you're on his hill, you're the one that's kind of have to force to retreat. Like, if you're right here, you don't really have to retreat out of fear of future damage. Something I've realized in lanes is putting people in situations where they're going to take a lot of future damage, such that they don't want to trade with me at that given moment, and I kind of get free damage. So right there, you kind of put yourself in a spot where you're guaranteed to take creep damage. You're guaranteed to have him be obviously a level ahead of you at the current moment. And it's just a really unfavorable trade despite the DD. So I feel like for how many times you've played Void Spirit, probably played this matchup a lot, that's not a misunderstanding of the matchup. It's more so a misunderstanding of the game. There, in that case, you were level 5. He's level 5. It's on your hill. Notice the difference there.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Fast forwarding.
Radiant structures are fortified.
So you're level 6 now. You have an Underlord, Lina bottom. I wouldn't really fuck with that lane. I'd kind of prioritize my own game right now unless they were getting shafted. This is the type of situation where I would only really fuck with the PL right now if he was absolutely free farming. If I don't, But otherwise, I'd definitely prioritize myself because my timings will be hit before his. So I'd look to accelerate my own and punish the window between the time that I've hit my timings and he hasn't. Fast forwarding a bit here. Okay. You clearly know the limits of this hero pretty well. That comes from just playing it a lot. You go for the Blightstone Wand over the boots, okay? I was kind of wondering if you're going to go the Wand, because you are having, like, very close engagements, so I think that was a good, like, on the adjustment fly there. Or on the fly adjustment. Nice help from the support. Your level of aggression, as I've said, is clearly good. You outplayed the fuck out of that guy. So the issue, or the question I'm going to have now is, now that you've established a lead, what are you going to do with it? And so I'm going to rewind that and see what happens here, because... Let's see. So let's talk about going into this kill. So yeah, it's a level 4 Nyx. But look at the map. And the problem I have with this kill attempt is that you're going for a guy where there's only one person on the enemy team showing, and the enemy mid laner is respawning right now. If there's going to be a time that you're going to run into 3 heroes or more, it's right now. And I think it's good to posture in these types of moments where the guy's respawning. And what I mean by posture is you walk at this Nyx in a very aggressive way, forcing the opponent to react to what you're doing. But you know that Ember Spirit's respawning right now. So the way I know that really good players think about this kind of shit is they want to force the Ember Spirit to rotate back to mid. And then their choice will be, if the Ember Spirit shows that he TPs elsewhere, to dive the fuck out of this Nyx. If he TPs mid, they'll either look to clear the wave and jungle, or they'll look to like immediately run top and kill the Slardar. Because something as a mid laner, it applies to all lanes, but especially mid, that I've heard people like CCNC talk on stream about, is when the opponent dies and then respawns, if they TP back to lane, that means you no longer have to worry about them counter ganking you. And most of the time, the biggest threat to you as a mid laner is the opponent mid laner counterplaying you. So it really opens up this nice window to make aggression on other lanes. But because he's respawning, this is just way too aggressive. Like, this is an example of, like, I think you're very aggressive, but let's be reasonable, right? You have half mana, not even half. 1 bottle charge, no stick charges. Like I said, there's only one person showing on the map that's not available for this lane. Like, even PL could easily TP tier 2 if needed, but he's probably not going to. And it's a level 4 Nyx. You're not taking the tower. You don't have a catapult. Like, maybe if you have a catapult, creating a bunch of space right here might be worth your time. But this is the type of kill where I'm like, all you're getting out of the kill is killing a level 4 Nyx. And there's a lot on the line because you're a level 9 Void Spirit. And so this is how I view this. So it's kind of like poking the bear. Like, when the opponent's respawning in this manner, I like to poke the bear, see what they're going to do when they respawn, and basically force them to chase me around. Because the minute Ember Spirit TP's mid, what if you just run at the Slardar, who's level 5, free farming under his tower, who doesn't do shit to you? You know, suddenly you're going to shove this lane in, probably get both bounties at 10 minutes, unless they bring 3 heroes, which in that case you did your job, and there's just no chance of counterplaying you because the Slardar is level 5. But instead, you're making this aggressive play on a lane where the enemy's respawning, and it's an Ember who does threaten you, who's level 8. So this is an example of why a lot of times people run at heroes like Alchemist, because Alchemist doesn't counterplay at all. Like, even if his team tries to help him, the hero Alchemist doesn't do anything, right? It doesn't prevent the opponent, like it doesn't threaten the opponent if they overextend to kill them. And a lot of times your aggression should be based off of what the opponent's potential to counterplay you is. And I would be thinking there, okay, Ember's respawning, force him to react, and then run at the people that are weak. And that would have been Slardar in this specific case. Imagine being the Slardar. Does he want a level 9 Void Spirit running at his lane? What can he do about it? Absolutely nothing. Why would it benefit you to go top? Because there's bounties spawning in 45 seconds from that moment. So at this point, I mean, I think it's good. You should just run around the map picking on the PL. I like this. All of this is fine. Meanwhile, your Troll Warlord's farming.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Without doubt to this.
This is a very good rotation.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom
I would argue right now you're supposed to TP top. Like right this moment. Underlord does it instead of you. Let's think about this. This may be correct. So what are we trying to do in the game right now? Does Troll want to play with us? Is Troll going to participate in this game? These are the type of things I'm going to think about. And my answer is we're up by 6k and Troll is against like 4 stuns. So I don't think he really wants to fight. He's content with a 6k lead to just, he's probably going Battle Fury. Yeah, he's content to just hit a bunch of neutrals. So why I'm asking this is if Troll's a hero that wanted to help you, then rotating to his lane in an aggressive way is like a really good thing because you're dragging a fight to somebody that wants to participate. But in this case, I don't really think applying aggression on mid in the form of like diving is necessarily a good thing. I think you're in mode farm because you're ahead and you have a Battle Fury or a carry going Battle Fury. And when I'm in mode farm, I would prefer the hero that pressures the lane better to stay bottom and the hero that's more survivable to go top. And in this case, because Nyx is level 5, but also because you're just Void Spirited, you know, very survivable hero, I would have preferred you to go top. And I would have done it even quicker. Like right... I would have gotten these 2 kills and probably immediately TP top. Oh, it's on cooldown. Oh. It's been on cooldown this whole time. Am I high? Okay, I'm high. This is why you didn't TP top. Well, I just spent an entire time talking about this. I think you should still TP top, but it should be obviously right now. Like right the second it's up. I would go right now. I would have been the one that TP'd, but you couldn't have TP'd earlier. I think the fact that you stayed here is personal preference in terms of like it's not a bad thing. I just think it would be slightly better the other way around. But you end up going top anyway, so I guess that works out. I do like how aggressive you're posturing on the map. You're up by 7k gold. Obviously a bit of a stomp. Playing with your supports, but at the same time... Okay, so look at these heroes. How do they get back into the game? How do these heroes ever get back into this game? And the answer is killing people. Like, Slardar doesn't farm. Nyx doesn't farm. Like, obviously, Lich is a support that doesn't farm. And PL needs space to farm. So generally, when you're this far ahead, it's really good to invade their triangle like you're doing. But it's like poking the bear. You want them to react to you with 4 heroes, but don't give them what their only condition to come back into this game is, which is killing you. You want to force them to show. And like the 4 heroes. And the minute that they prove to you that they don't have the numbers, what I mean by that is one of them TP's bottom, then you punish it and you kill people in the mid lane like you are. Like in this case, I would think if I'd be thinking to myself, I'm going to take over this area. If I don't go on them, I don't really see how they go on me. They don't have any blink initiators or whatever. And the minute they show somebody bottom, I'm going to run at them like with no fear. And instead, you just run at them without waiting for that. It was the same thing as mid, the reason you died. And so you have this clear idea that you're supposed to be aggressive, but what comes with that, like the problem is your aggression is kind of similar to mine like 3 or 4 years ago, where it's like, there's just no reasoning behind it. Like where you're going is good, but what you're doing with the aggression. There's no reasoning. You see a hero, you go for the hero. Like, you're playing the right part of the map, but you're not thinking about the condition behind why you would go on somebody. Like, you're just going. You're kind of just mindlessly like, oh, there's a hero here, I'm going to try to kill that guy. So whenever it's good, it just works, right? Like bottom lane, the Lich is level 5, they have no counterplay, he's just going to die. But here, they do have counterplay. You know, all the reasons why you shouldn't go are there, and you go anyway. And that just proves to me that you don't consider at all why it's good or bad to go. And I think you should really think about when you watch other players, like especially like Sumail, even from the carry role. They're hyper aggressive, but man, is it calculated aggression. Even teams like OG that are hyper aggressive, it's very calculated in the sense that, you know, the minute they see somebody TP bottom, they're like, punish, punish, run the other side of the map. Or like if they see a carry that TPs to his own safe lane, run at him, you know, like they have a very methodical reason for the chaotic run at you style that they have. It may look like chaos, but like they have specific reasons and weaknesses that they're trying to exploit, that the enemy team put themselves in a bad spot. So these like 2 deaths you have, even though it's a stompy game, I would say if this was a closer game, you would lose because of these deaths. And that's the kind of thing where even though you don't lose, you know, it ends up being your team feeds. And it's not really a surprise when you're the one that's this farmed, if you feed, that it's likely you do, like at least 1 or 2 other people on your team are going to die. And to be clear to people in chat, if you're like 6-0 and you feed, it's worth like 4 deaths on a normal hero. Like it's worth your support dying like 4 times because you give up so much map control, you give up so much momentum. The teammates that are only strong because you exist are no longer strong, so you effectively remove like 2 or 3 heroes from the map. Like your supports are only strong if they have you to play with. Without you, they're not strong. So by dying, you're giving the opponent a lot of map control, map momentum, and you're making 2 of your heroes no longer strong. So you're effectively dying on 3 heroes and giving them more space on the map. Okay, so the run at them continues. Let's rewind here. Well, I was busy talking about what I was previously mentioning.
Why did you do that? I had no reason to do.
So I would really just exploit this team's lack of mobility on the Slardar as well as the Lich. That's what I would be like. The minute one of those 2 is not in the equation, Lich makes it so it's easy to kill people if he's gone. Slardar makes it so it's much more difficult for them to kill you. So that's how it would affect my decision making. Like Slardar TP top there, so this is automatically like aggressive mode that you're allowed to go, because even though they have Ember, they really have no damage to kill you with your team around. Before though, when Slardar was there and you dove and your team was there, you just died really fast, and that's like the difference here. So you see 2 top, you see PL bottom, free tower mid. I don't mind this aggression because you saw PL bottom, you saw Slardar top, you force a reaction, you get out. Exactly this, you make the enemy team chase you around. Right now, I would immediately TP bottom. Fuck this shit. Look what's happening while you guys are up by 6k. They're contesting you with less heroes. They're pushing top with a greedy 4 position, and they're taking your offlane tower with a hero that is weak against you. When I say taking it, like look at this. This guy should get ran at. What does this guy do to you? Right? Like as a hero. And imagine if I'm a PL, what I'm going to do the minute you TP. And I just tell my team, hey, get out. Like they just TP'd Slardar. If you push this lane in, like say you take control of this area single-handedly, what's going to happen 30 seconds from now is this lane's going to be pushed in. Your team's going to control this area. You can shift back this way. Your team can kind of shift this way. And the part of the map that the opponent has is here. That's what they'll have in about 30 seconds, the minute you TP bottom. And so by doing what you did mid in terms of aggression, you forced their hero that was here out of here. So you've already corralled them from this lane, right? By forcing them to react to you in the mid lane. Now that you've corralled them, punish what they're giving you. Like make sure you make use of this aggression that you're doing. And so, like, the minute I saw them, I know I'm really good against PL in, like, a 1v1 split pushing scenario. As long as he has no defusal, he absolutely does nothing to me. And I would have TP'd bottom immediately right here. Give no damage on the tower, give no extra farm to this PL. Potentially even kill him, because if you TP on him and manage to get the Ether Remnant off, or at least hold on to it before he TPs, I don't really see how he gets away from you. He can't man up on you. So this is a situation that you're like making the right aggressive play, but you're not doing the right thing with it. And even if you kill these guys, like, I would much rather bully this PL from hitting your tower than kill a Slardar. Like, this guy has nothing. And you guys are instead smoking to bottom. Let's see if it works out.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
So you guys end up getting the PL. I would honestly say that's the PL kind of being bad, because in this case, you guys were just mid, and you're not here. So where are you? Like, that's just him kind of being bad. On the other hand, if you had TP'd right in front of his face and just ran at him with 2 heroes smoked towards him, he would have had no way out. I think if PL was a better player, he would have just not died there. So, once again, effectively accomplishing what I want you to do, but instead of, like, having uncontrolled aggression, you're kind of just doing it in a way that is dodgeable, is how I would word that. So just fight, like, the result is the same, and I like what you guys did, but I would have really liked, I just don't care about killing that Slardar, to be honest with you. I care much more about shutting down this PL's split pushing aggression, because he's their carry, and Slardar isn't going to make use of the space you give him by letting him farm a creep wave mid. So what you guys effectively do does happen. I don't think you need to have 5 heroes together. So you're playing around the mid lane.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
This is good.
Dire's top Radiance is under attack.
Whenever your team's doing what they're doing, it's really important somebody takes care of the mid lane. It's really important. If the game is being played properly, the team that's winning should always have the momentum in the mid lane, period. If the game is being played properly. So if your team is winning and the mid lane's at your tier 1, somebody fucked up. Somebody who was supposed to push that wave fucked up. So I'm just telling for everyone watching, not just you, that that's a good thing what you just did there. You see 2 top. Yep. That's a good punish.
Your time and place have come.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I don't like this TP.
Radiant are
And here's why. So let's talk about this TP. So you killed the Lich. You saw the PL top. You see the Slardar taking your tier 1. I would say your 2 choices after killing this Lich are to run through mid and pressure this mid tower, force somebody to react, and then run at top lane. Or to just immediately TP top. Like, those are your 2 choices. Because if you TP in front of the Slardar, what's he going to do? He's going to run the fuck away. And when he runs the fuck away, who's he going to run into? Your team. Right? But instead, you TP here, which gives him like a clear-cut way out, which is to run this way and TP. So by TPing in front of their face again, you would just have a lot of power in terms of controlling where people go on the map. Same thing it was here. It's the same thing that applies here. But now, by TPing top like this in a, I would say, slow way, you're effectively allowing the opponent to push out mid lane, push out the bottom lane, probably to like here. And even if your team manages to like go for Roche or whatever, it's very predictable whatever you guys are going to do next, because you're going to show top. And once again, it's just a very unlikely to be successful TP. If your team like TP'd here and you had like a ward seeing PL running or something, sure, TP for a guaranteed kill, but you can't just like TP and then hope you find him or whatever. You have like a guaranteed aggressive play here that shuts down map control. And the emphasis I'm giving you is to think about when you make a TP, when you make a move, how it's going to influence what the map looks like 30 seconds from now, a minute from now. And that's a really cool thing that you can get used to doing. Because now, Slardar, who's really weak, is going to push out the mid lane with no contest. Ember's going to push out the bottom lane with no contest. PL is actually going to escape, maybe even kill a courier. Nope. And just look at the farm in the map now. You guys are up by 8,000 gold, and you have 5 people in your own jungle. That's like unheard ofly bad. Like that is crazy bad. And a lot of that has to do with your pace of the game that you're playing. You just need to be faster. You need to be crisper. You need to make similar moves, but in a more methodical way. And I'm telling you things to think about to help you do just that, because it's not like a just do it kind of thing. You know, it's much more complicated than that. I'm gonna fast forward a bit, not talk too much about this. Build's fine. I mean, it's the Thompson build. You guys are up by 10k. Game's probably gonna end pretty rapidly here. Yeah, it goes another 10 minutes, but you guys take over the map. You know, I wanted these to be about 15 to 30 minutes, and I have done just that. So I'm gonna cut it off here. And I'm going to tell you that I kind of knew what to expect based on having played with you before. This is a 7k MMR Void Spirit replay. Your 2 deaths are pretty unexcusable, meaning that you can be rank 300 dying like that, but you'll never make top 25 dying like that. I mean, I die like it too sometimes, and when I inconsistently die like that, I don't deserve to win. Like, I just know I don't. There's times where, like, you're allowed to make plays. Like, I don't want you to obviously take this coaching session and become scared. I don't think that'll happen, but I don't want anyone watching to think, you know, just don't play aggressive. But every time you play aggressive, there needs to be a reason, you know? You need to have this feel, like, you don't want to overthink it, but if you start to think about this kind of stuff, it becomes natural, and then all the things I'm telling you to think about, yeah, they're going through your head, but it's not actually distracting you from the game. You're kind of just naturally looking for these things, and it's more subconscious than anything. And if you can't come up with the reason why you're being aggressive, you know, you saw somebody TP here, you saw, you know, their support's only level 5, then it's just not good. Like, the time you died mid to Ember, clearly bad when you look at it. The time that you went on them mid, clearly bad when you look at the map. Why give them what they want? A lot of times when I'm ahead, I think to myself, how does the opponent come back? If the opponent comes back by fighting us, then I look to build to be survivable. If they come back by split pushing us, I look to build catch. If they look to come back through team fight, when I say fight, I mean, like, in this case, pick-offs, more like skirmishes. If they come back through team fight, maybe I'll look to build like an efficiency item to split push the map more, because usually team fight lineups lack mobility and farm efficiency, so I'll look to out efficiency them and then look to eventually out team fight them, meaning I'm up by 10,000, 20,000 gold, and I'll just kill them, because even though their lineup has better team fight, we can just win because we have 20,000 net worth advantage. So in this game particularly, the only way they come back, they don't have strong team fight, they have strong pick off. And so running into 4 heroes when you're ahead is just not a good idea. Like, that's just not what should be happening. And you did it twice, one at the 8-minute mark and one at the 15. And those are the types of deaths that the person in chat says, I'm going 20 kills, 2 deaths, and 20 assists on Void Spirit, and I'm losing. And it's like, when you're that far ahead and you die like that, it gives the opponent so much. So last game I played just now, I played Enchantress. And if I was playing Enchantress against a carry like PA, and I die in lane 3 or 4 times because PA scales well against me, I'm screwed. Like, I'm actually just done because I fed away a lead or like an advantage at that time in the game. And it's like, there's going to be games like this where you're either so far ahead that 1 or 2 deaths isn't going to cost you the game, or you're ahead and your hero scales better against them, and those 1 or 2 deaths may slow down how long it takes you to win the game, but it's not going to make you lose the game. But if you're against a hero that's like really well matched up against you and you die once or twice with a massive lead, those are the games you're just going to lose with 1 or 2 really crucial deaths. So I think these deaths are what I want you to avoid. So this will be going up on YouTube. Hope you learned something from this, and let's go kill people.